The Supreme Court on Monday declined to review lower court rulings that prevented pro-life activists in 2 states from ending public financing for Planned Parenthood. So there was a case that was going to be appealed to the Supreme Court about whether states could ban public funding for Planned Parenthood. The cases pertain to whether a Medicaid recipient who relies on Planned Parenthood for health services has a right to challenge her state's decision to defund the organization. To date, state courts in Kansas and Louisiana have found that states violate federal law by depriving Planned Parenthood affiliates of Medicaid funding solely because they provide abortion. The idea is that all of these federal programs can fund Planned Parenthood, and because they have not prevented the funding of Planned Parenthood, states can't step in and prevent the federal government from funding Planned Parenthood on the Medicaid level, even if the state is contributing. This would be a ripe political issue. Here's the problem. There were 3 justices, who voted in favor of hearing the case. These would be your favorite justices, Clarence Thomas, Neil Gorsuch, Samuel Alito. Who voted against hearing the case? Well, all of the leftists on the court, and John Roberts and Brett Kavanaugh. Who could have foreseen that Brett Kavanaugh would not be nearly as conservative as a lot of his proponents were suggesting? Who could have suggested that Brett Kavanaugh might not in fact be the pro-life warrior on the Supreme Court that all the people on the left thought he was, to the extent that they accused him of rape? Who could have foreseen that Brett Kavanaugh would be a moderate on the court, creating a new swing block with John Roberts? Who could? Right here. That was me. Yeah, that's right. Go back, listen to the shows. I said it at the time. So I think this is an early indicator and not a good indicator, that Brett Kavanaugh is going to be another moderate on the court, which is not exactly what folks need. We need an originalist perspective on the court. We don't need another, let's let all the branches get along with each other by perverting the Constitution. Clarence Thomas argued that while the cases do tangentially relate to the question of abortion, at issue is the more basic question of an individual Medicaid recipient's relationship to her state government. He said, it is true that these particular cases arose after several states alleged that Planned Parenthood affiliates had, among other things, engaged in the illegal sale of fetal organs and fraudulent billing practices, and thus removed Planned Parenthood as a state Medicaid provider. But these cases are not about abortion rights. They're about private rights of action under the Medicaid Act. Resolving the question presented here would not even affect Planned Parenthood's ability to challenge states' decisions. This, of course, is correct, but that didn't stop Kavanaugh from preventing this case from being heard. All it takes to get a Supreme Court writ of certiorari heard is 4 justices voting in favor of hearing the case. Kavanaugh voted against hearing the case.